So hello everyone. I want to thank everyone for attending the meeting today. I know it was on such short notice, but we're here today for one particular property. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, if we could first have a motion to waive the 48-hour rule.
May Stan, seconded by Michael. All in favor? Carried. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, there are one change to the agenda. It's an added consent item. There's correspondence from various residents respecting 1 St. James Place, Hamilton, and they're marked as items 5.1A through 5.1Y, distributed on the yellow copies.
May I have a motion to receive the agenda with the amendments? Michael, seconded by Stan. All in favor? Carried. Are there any declarations of interest today? Seeing none, we move on to item 4, which is our delegation request. We have before us the delegation from the property owner, Mr. Very. May I have a motion to approve this delegation? Michael, seconded by Councillor McHattie. May I also have a motion to waive the rules to allow them to speak today? Michael, seconded by Ron. All in favor? I now ask the property owner to come up and speak, provide his verbal presentation. And just as a reminder for delegation rules, it's 5 minutes as your speaking time.
Thank you all members for allowing me to speak here. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything I can say to change your minds what you're going to do today. So for me to say anything, I would like to hear your comments first, but I'm going to say, I think your mind has been made up. I see where this is going, but I want to be on the record to say, whatever you're doing, you're not doing it correctly. Thank you.
Moving on to our discussion items, we now have before us the matter of 1 St. James Place. Is there any discussion on this matter? Councillor McHattie?
Madam Chair, I think committee has before them the motion that was moved at council last night. Councillor Farr moved it, seconded by myself. You'll recall this issue's been in front of this committee, or we've been aware of it for several weeks. And at the previous council meeting, Councillor Farr moved to have this property added to the register. At that point in time, there was some question as to why Councillor Farr did not move the motion that he did last night, the notice of intention to designate. And it's important to note at that point, the City of Hamilton was still gathering information, and in Councillor Farr's meetings with our legal staff and with our heritage planning staff, they felt that we needed to have some additional information so that we were sure the property did in fact meet the criteria under the Ontario Heritage Act, the regulation that's talked about, 906, excuse me, in the motion from last night. So we were able to go into the council meeting last night and move this motion, speak to this motion with full knowledge of the implications, and that it did in fact, 1 St. James Place did in fact meet the criteria and could indeed be designated. That was important to gather that information, take the time to do so, and I think that was a proper action by Councillor Farr and working with city staff. I just wanted to express my support for the motion last night, this activity. This is a very significant property for the reasons that were outlined in the motion last night. Certainly the art moderne style, which and the use of steel in a residential construction is a significant item from an architectural perspective. And of course the historical aspect of the building, the architects and the construction company being those who have done other significant buildings here in Hamilton and right across Canada. This, I think, speaks to the large issue that we've talked about many times, and I've been working on as best I can, but not fast enough, to look at all the properties across Hamilton that are on that list the list of 7,000 we've spoken about many times. And indeed, many of those properties will qualify for designation. And we need to continue to tackle those properties one by one, neighborhood by neighborhood, town by town, right across the whole breadth of Hamilton. And it's on staff's work plan. There's a reference to the 2015 budget to continue to fund that work, the same work that was done downtown here, the 750 or so properties that were added to the register based on the downtown work of staff and ERA consultants. And we're carrying on that work, certainly not fast enough. And in the meantime, we may end up with other properties such as this that are significant, and we're playing a little bit of catch-up on ensuring that they're protected. But that's the action City Council took last evening. I think it was a proper action, the right action, and I would hope that this committee, the Municipal Heritage Committee, would speak in support of the council action last night. Thank you.
Are there any other questions, comments? So we have before us the motion that was passed last night. As item B, the notice of intention to designate 1 St. James, Hamilton be forwarded to the Hamilton Municipal Heritage Committee for its consideration, which is why we are here today. May I have a motion to receive this and approve this motion? Stan, seconded by Michael.
Because it was unclear at our last meeting what our role is here, I just wanted to make sure we're taking the required action. So you said to receive and approve. I just wanted to clarify through the Ontario Heritage Act, through the proper legal processes on this, what exactly this committee is required to do so we don't miss out on a key action that we're required to take. Is there someone here that can speak to that? Whether we need to approve this motion or sanction it, or what the language is, please.
Yes, through the chair, typically we would bring these before the committee before it goes to council, and then we would be asking for a recommendation for approval. In this case, I think you can endorse well, really we're here for consultation, so you can go either way actually, but I think if I'm reading the room correctly, it would be for an endorsement.
Thanks, Megan. I just wanted to make sure. So can you clarify that if we use that language, perhaps the word endorse the action that was taken by council last evening, that is satisfactory under the Municipal Heritage or rather than the Ontario Heritage Act? Through Madam Chair?
Through the chair, that's correct.
So because it's after the effect, we're not approving it. I know the Act speaks about a Municipal Heritage Committee approving the notice of intention to designate. Are you saying because this is after the fact, council acting last evening, the wording is endorse rather than approve? Madam Chair? Okay, so we're okay. So the language should be endorsed then.
Endorse.
Important to note. Thank you.
Okay. So in regards to the endorsement of this delegation, Michael, second. Kathy, all in favor? Carried. Any opposed? Seeing none. Kathy, did you have?
I have one question, perhaps after the fact, but I have a concern that existing foliage should probably be part of the landscape protection. I know in Stony Creek we have a heritage tree bylaw. I don't know how that is rolled out across the rest of the community, but I think it would make sense that the landscape include the existing larger old trees, if there are any left. Thank you.
Would you like that clarified as part of do a separate motion?
Through the chair, I believe that the majority of the trees have been actually cut down at this point. Also, to amend the reasons for designation, I think we would have to go back to council and provide that advice to them. So it starts to create a procedural challenge.
Okay. And then just as an item of administration, we have the, under consent items, we have various correspondence. I know it was given last minute, but we should have a motion to receive the yellow package. Councillor Pearson, seconded by Kathy. Favor? Carried. If there's no other items, motion to adjourn. Councillor Pearson. Ron, thank you very much.